Hello, I'm Captain Phoenix and welcome to my corner. Earlier this year, 2024, I visited Paris. I was there on my own for 4 days. The main purpose was, of course, to be in Paris, to experience Paris, a city I really love. I'd say it's my second favorite city, except from where I live. But also to buy some records and different shops and different places, mainly jazz records. And in this video, I'm gonna show you what I bought and where I bought it, present the shops, present the records, and also give you a few tips of what I did, except for more than buying records, a few restaurants I visited. But it's not gonna be a tourist guide to Paris. The city is much too big for that to be in a video here. So I hope you'll follow me and hang on. As you might know, Paris, the center of Paris, is made up of 20 districts, 20 arrondissements, and they are the structure is like a circle from the center and out. And I'll present the records in the order of where I bought them. So I'll start with the records that I bought in the first arrondissement. The first shop I went to was OCD. I think it means OCDs, but it's also a play on the psychological thing. I don't know how funny that is, OCD syndrome, but yeah. The OCD have several shops around Paris. The one I went to was in the first arrondissement and Rue Pierre Lescot, and I bought 3 records there. The first one is this one. It's a 1980s recording with Tommy Flanagan, Eddie Gomez, and Danny Richmond, which who I all know, but Benny Wallace, I don't know. He's playing the saxophone here. It's a post-bop. It's maybe you could call it contemporary. Benny Wallace is a little bit. It's not free jazz, but he's a little bit more edge here. It's a nice record. I like the most quiet tunes the most. This one I bought for 19 euros. Also at OCD I bought this one. At Pepper today. This cost me 25 euros, and it's with good musicians. Yeah, I don't know if you can see them. Yeah, there we are, with Cecil McBee and Roy Haynes on it. So it's a nice record. I don't actually know where this one is pressed. It could be a US issue. And then the last one from OCD was this one. The Many Faces of Jazz, that's a series. This is volume 8 with Gigi Grice, the alto saxophonist, Art Farmer, Clifford Brown, and James Cleveland, and others, I think, as well. This is a recording from Paris. These guys and others went to Paris with Lionel Hampton back in the early 50s. And they, after hours after the evening show was played, they teamed up with local musicians and made some recordings in Paris, and this is one of them. Lionel Hampton was not very fond of that. He was rather furious that they did that. It didn't influence them playing with his band, but he didn't really like it, and he said that he would collect their passports so they couldn't leave the city without him. This one, it features these musicians, and I bought it for 15 euros, so that's a very fair price, I think. After my visit at OCD, I went to the most famous and the best and the largest jazz record store in Paris, Paris Jazz Corner. It's on the other side of the Seine, the river that divides Paris in 2 parts. The Paris Jazz Corner is in the 5th arrondissement. And there I bought nothing less than 8 records. So I could probably have bought more. Actually, there were so many records to go through that I had to come back a second time because I couldn't make it all in one visit. So yeah, and the ones I bought here was Art Farmer and Ben Golson here, Tonk. This is a good standard, well played hard bop. with these two gentlemen, and Benny Golson, as far as I know, is still active, is still playing. I think he's in the 90s, but this is a recording from where is this from? Well, I can't get it. Yeah, but anyway, it's a really nice recording. I paid 26 euros, and I was so lucky that they had 20% off when I visited Paris Jazz Corner. I think they had too many records, so they tried to speed up selling them. Another one I bought was this one. Bill Evans with quintet, Harold Land, Kenny Burrell, Ray Brown, and Philly Joe Jones. This one is it's not a very usual format for Bill Evans to be in. This one cost me 20 euros. And here we see the musicians. It's a nice recording, as you might know. I'm really a big fan of Bill Evans. And this is a French pressing, as many of the others are. It's pressed here in Europe and many of them in France. So, yeah. Another one I got was this one, Jimmy Forrest, Black Forest. He has released several records, and many of them are entitled something with Forest. I think they were trying to be kind of funny here. But more Bill Evans. This one, Montreux 2. I think Bill Evans made 3 Montreux-related recordings. This is number 2. It's a gatefold, but it's only a single disc. It's with Eddie Gomez on bass, the bass player that he played with the longest time. I think it was 8, 9, 10 years. So really well played together. And Martin Morell on drums, also one of the longest standing. And this is the Bill Evans classical trio from 1970. It is as always with Evans, it's at a high level, and the 3 musicians are very equal. They play together as one, really like one band, one trio. It's not just the star on the piano and then the rhythm group. That was one of the things that Evans did. Did I mention I paid 32 euros for this one? And here we got a couple from Steeplechase, the Danish label, but these ones were from Paris. The house that Love built, I think it's a reference to the house that Train built, Impulse. But this is the title, The House That Love Built. Frank Foster Quintet with a couple of Danish musicians on it. Jesper Lundgaard on bass and O Tango on drums, young Danish musicians. At this time it's from 82. And Horace Parlan, who also lived in Denmark. So this is Danish backing to Frank Foster here on the saxophone. And the other one here is also with some Danish musicians or musicians living in Denmark at that time. It's 81, so it's more or less the same time. Kenny Drew, Jesper Lundgaard, and Peter Hart is backing Teddy Edwards here. So that's also local backing, can you say, these recordings. So I think it's made in Denmark. They are with the Danish recording engineer Freddie Hansen. These ones were like, this one was only 8 euros and this one was 16, so very fair price. And I think that was very fair pricing for all the records at the Paris Jazz Corner. It is the largest one, and I was told by Fred Thomas, who owns another record store, that everybody in Paris that wants to sell a jazz collection goes to the Paris Jazz Corner. They had a lot of records in the shop, and I was told that they had even more at a storage somewhere close, but not in the shop. So they are really loaded. That is, if you had to visit only one jazz record shop in Paris, that's the one to go to. So, yeah, it is in the 5th arrondissement, as I think I mentioned, and I bought a couple of others here. This is a Japanese issue of 4 with Hampton Hayes, and the others. they look like they are playing golf. If you are playing golf, you will notice that only one of them is probably a golfer. This is not the way to swing a club. This is definitely not a way to swing a golf club. So, yeah. But a play on the word for, which is what you shout if you mishit a ball and it's or that brings others in danger. But here it's for musicians. Really nice release from Contemporary. I paid 28 euros for this one. It's a Japanese version, so the pressing is very good. Also from the Paris Jazz Corner is this one, Afternoon in Europe, with Kenny Drew Trio. He lived in Copenhagen, and here he plays together with Niels Henning Ørsted Petersen and with Ed Thigpen, the drummer, who plays the whiskers so very well. It's really great to listen to him. Here they play with a combination of jazz standard and Kenny Drew's own tunes and a Danish and a Swedish folk tune, I guess you can say, traditional. So yeah, very mixed repertoire. Also a recording from the early 80s. It's from 81. This one was 32 euros. So yeah. And then I stayed in the 5th arrondissement. I went to a record shop called Crocodile Records, where I only bought one. They had a lot. It's a rather loaded shop. The selections are maybe not so good as they are not so good as in the Paris Jazz Corner. But I bought this one, the Tree. This is Joe Sample, Ray Brown, and Shelly Manne. Some little reflections here, yeah. It's a direct-to-disc recording, so that means that it has not been recorded on tape. They take the signal from the mixer and direct to the cutting head of the lathe. So that should be a better quality. It's from the mid-70s when they make these direct-to-disc recordings. It sounds fine. That's unfortunately a little scratch that I didn't discover when I bought it, but only on one of the tunes. So yeah, but it's there's a lot of energy in this one. This one was 35 euros. Not very far from Paris Jazz Corner and Crocodisc, there was the third record store in the 5th arrondissement, and there I bought 2 records. It is a small shop called La Dame Blanche, the White Lady, and with a very helpful owner. I bought this Benny Golson 1980s recording with Curtis Fuller on the trombone, and yeah. It's steady hard bop, and Curtis Fuller really this kind of roaring trombone he plays. I really dig. Yeah, so this is an 80s recording on Timeless, as you see here, and the other one I bought here was the Curtis Counts group with Carl's Blues. That's referring to Carl Perkins, the piano player here, who died shortly after this recording. Maybe even under. No, I think it was just shortly after. So yeah, and here we have Harold Land on the tenor sax, and we have Frank Butler on the drums here down here, and he really on this record and a lot of other records, he really makes some good drumming. So that's a guy I'll look out for. This is a contemporary release, and I think it's an American pressing. Probably later. It's a stereo version. I paid 30 euros for this one, which I think was a very good price. The owner and the La Dame Blanche is a seller on Discogs as well, and he said that if I found something there, he would bring it and mailed him. He would bring it to the shop the next day, so I'd save the shipping cost. I didn't do that because I didn't have the time, but it was very kind of him, and he was very friendly and a nice, organized shop. Yeah, and I have to say that all the shops, all the places I went to, they spoke very good English. So my French is not that good, so it was easy for me to communicate. So if you do speak English yourself, it'll be easy to get around in the shops and in Paris in general. Not very far from these 3 record shops in the 5th arrondissement, I went to Gilbert Joseph, which is not a chain, but it's a bookstore, and it's for office paper and pencils and stuff. And they do have a rather large record department in the basement at Boulevard Saint-Michel, one of the big boulevards in Paris, in the 6th arrondissement. And there I bought this one, and they had a lot of Japanese, very, very well kept releases. They were sealed and they were graded on the outside, and the grading is, to my experience from what I bought, was spot on. So this is really, this is a Chicoria Return to Forever, the first one. I did have this one, but it was not in a very good condition. And I think with a Japanese version, Japanese pressing, they tend to be very good. So this one I got for 35 euros. And then this one with Illinois Jacquet for only 10 euros. Here he is with Wild Bill Davis on organ and Al Barty on drums, or as the French say, batterie. So this is a French pressing, and the liner notes are on French as well. So yeah. Then these are used records. This one is a new one. Hideyusa Tarakawa. I'm hoping I'm not butchering his name too much. 45 RPM 2LP. It's a recording from 1970. Late 70s, but a re-release from 2022. And this one was only 15 euros. It's, I think you'd say it's contemporary jazz. It's very well made, well played. They're skilled musicians. It is maybe not so experimental or bring something new in it, but and they play a lot of standards, as you can see here. Yeah, over 40. And it was only 15 euros and was originally price marked at 55 euros. So I think this was a no-brainer. I went back the day after to see if they had another copy. Maybe somebody I know would like it, but they were sold out. So I think it was a good bargain. And also, and even maybe better bargain, I think, is this one. Thomas Almqvist. He's Swedish. He was Swedish. Nuancer means nuances, and this is Thomas Almqvist's debut record. It is partly jazz. It's a little world music. It's a little, what do you call it? Yeah, world music, ambient music, jazz music. He's a guitarist. Swedish born in Stockholm, lived the last part of his life in Denmark, in northern of Denmark, Frederikshavn, where he unfortunately died of a heart attack in the age of only 55 years old. So, yeah, this is his debut record, and it's very, very good. It's one of the records that when you start to listen to it, there are several tunes on it, but when you listen to it, it's hard to stop after one tune. It's like you have to listen to it all, and yeah, it's really, really a great recording. It's available both in this 2023 release and the original, which is from 1979. It's available on Discogs, and I can really recommend this one. I did not know of Thomas Almqvist before, so it was kind of a shot. But this was only 12 euros at Gilbert Jean and Gilbert Joseph, sorry, and it was downmarked from 32 euros, I think. So really a bargain. Yeah. So remember to go to the basement if you go there, because you do not see the records right away at Gilbert Joseph. And not far from that, I can recommend a very ordinary brasserie, Le Danton, which I went to afterwards here and had a little lunch. I think I was maybe not the only tourist, but there were a lot of Frenchmen there, and I think that's always nice when you don't feel that the place is too touristic. The food. And after these record shops and the lunch at Le Danton, we're moving to the other side of the Seine, and I went to, not on the same day and not in this order, but I went to Same Records, visited Fred Thomas, the owner. There, I have made an interview with him, and I also bought some records there. The interview is in a separate video. I'll put a link below, as I will to all the record stores here. If they do have a website, but yeah, I'll give you the address anyway. At Sam Records, I bought this one. This is the Analog Productions Steaming with the Miles Davis Quintet. This is a new record. It was just that I didn't have it, and I saved the shipping and the taxes from the USA, where it's normally found. I also bought this one, the Stan Getz with Kenny Barron, George Mraz. I think he is a Czech bass player, and Victor Lewis on drums. This one was €20, and I really like Stan Getz, and especially together with Kenny Barron. He's such a good piano player together with Stan Getz here. So, and this is just contemporary. I won't say ordinary jazz, but it's so nice. It's so easy to take in. It's very accessible. So I really dig Stan Getz a lot, and especially from this period here in the 80s, mid 80s, I think. Then I also bought this one, Gigi Grice, the alto saxophonist, which was on one of the first records here. Here is a record in his own name, both with a quartet and with a larger ensemble, an orchestra. He was a composer. He was a band leader. He was also doing a lot of work for the musicians' rights to their own material in the USA and New York in the 50s and into the 60s. This recording is a Japanese pressing. I don't know when it's recorded, but yeah. And he's with a lot of big names here: Thelonious Monk, Percy Heath, Art Blakey, and others. But he didn't really make it. He didn't have a long career. He was, I think, speculations from my side. I think he put a lot of effort into fighting for the rights of the musicians, and maybe not so much in his own career. He made a lot of compositions and his own career as a band leader. So it was a rather limited production he had. And he just simply left the music industry and became a teacher in New York. I hope to make a video on Gigi Grice some fine day. But this one is a nice recording, and also this here from Sam Records. This is 20. This is 20. I bought this for 25, and the other here for 30 euros. This is Wynton Kelly in January 1958. The piano player that almost made it on the Kind of Blue. He played on one tune on Kind of Blue, but the others were Bill Evans. And here's with Kenny Burrell, Paul Chambers, and Philly Joe Jones. So it's a good quartet here. I think this is a Spanish repressing, but it sounds fine. I really like it. It's as you can see, it's in super fine condition, and the record as well. So, and that goes for all the records at Sam Records. They are very well maintained. There are no, I don't know if they are clean, but they're in very good condition. Especially at a few of the others I mentioned, you have to check out the quality of the records more at Crooked Disc. Also a little on Paris Jazz Corner, but at Sam Records the quality is superb. The last one I bought there for 40 euros is this one, Hampton Hayes, The Green Leaves of Summer. Here's here with Monk Montgomery on bass and Steve Ellington on drums. A couple of gentlemen that I do not know of, but this is a U.S. pressing, and this recording in '64, so it's in the good period of jazz. And what a lovely jacket here. So yeah, then I did only go to one more record shop and a lot of restaurants. I went after I had been to Sam Records. I went to a very nice and very stylish restaurant called Le Bouillon Quartier in the 9th arrondissement. There was a long line outside, so I had to wait. But the gentleman in the white coat there, he he asked me, "Are you alone? Are you only one?" And then he picked me and took me in front of the long line here, and it was like, I think the restaurant is like a old industrial building, but it's really, and the dishes are very basic. They're very cheap. Some of them are a few, 5, 6, 7 euros, and yeah, so. It's a very good experience, and you can see from the long lines outside that it's a place that's very popular. So go there if you are in the neighborhood. It's the 9th arrondissement. And then the last record shop I went to, I bought the last 2 records. I bought 25 records in total. That was a very good outcome, I think, for these 4 days. The last 2 I bought in a place called Pop Culture Shop. They sell books, they sell board games and card games and things, but they had a little record department as well. It is in the 11th arrondissement. It was very close to where I lived, so it was convenient to get there. It's in number 23 Rue Keller. And there I bought this one, David Friesen, the bassist, David Friesen, Amber Skies. Here it's 84 recording with names as Chicoria, as you can see, Joe Henderson, Paul Motian. Yeah, they're all there. So it's a really strong setup. It's nice. It's very listenable music. I think you get an idea of that it's kind of calm, a little dreaming maybe from the cover here. That was only 13 euros. I think that was somewhat of a bargain. And the last one is Dave Grusin, a very early recording. I think this is from '64. With a very young Dave Grusin. We are normally used to see him with a beard and with a mustache at least, and as a studio musician and making records in his own right. But here he is with this is hard bop. This is with Thad Jones on the trumpet and Frank Foster on the tenor sax, as you can see here. And Larry Rosen, which he partnered up with for many years on drums, and Bob Crenshaw on the bass. So I paid 23 euros for this one. It's really a nice recording, but later he changed his style very much. I did not know before I bought this one that he was into the main stream of jazz in the early 60s, but this one is a good recording. So I had a nice trip to Paris, and right close to where I bought this one, I went to my favorite restaurant, which I will also mention, and then I'll stop it. It's called Chez Paul. It's in the 11th arrondissement as well. My favorite restaurant. It's not the best in Paris. It's just that I found it with my wife 20 some years ago, just by accident, and we have come there every time we've been in Paris. We've never been disappointed. It's a traditional French kitchen, and that's what I like. That's very good. So I hope you found a little inspiration maybe in some of the records. Maybe if you have the chance to go to Paris, don't miss Sam Records. Don't miss Paris Jazz Corner, and don't miss Paris in general. There's so much to experience. So even though you might not be shopping this many records, you'll have, I'm sure, a good stay in the city. This year it's Olympic. The Olympic Games are hosted by Paris, so that'll be expensive to go there in August. But there will always be Paris, or as they say in a movie, we will always have Paris. I hope you will have Paris too at some point, and I thank you for watching this video, and see you next time. Bye bye.